They can control a man with money. They can silence a man with fear. They can manipulate a populating man through guilt. But the one thing they can't control, a man who chooses not to react. Let that sink in. Because in a world obsessed with opinions, outrage, and emotional chaos, the one who remains calm becomes untouchable. Asterisk, asterisk. You're about to learn how to become that person. Asterisk, asterisk, Napoleon Hill didn't just teach people how to get rich. He taught them how to master themselves. Because without that mastery, every fortune collapses. Every dream dies at the altar of emotional weakness. Most people are owned by their emotions, triggered by comments, destroyed by judgment, broken by delay. But you're not here to be like most people. You're here to break free, to become the kind of person who commands their world by mastering their inner world. If you can watch this video until the end, not just hear the words, but let them reshape how you see emotion, reaction, and power, then what's waiting on the other side is something rare. A life that moves when you say move, not when the world pushes you. So stay with me until the very last second. This isn't hype. This is a blueprint. And the first step begins now. They didn't teach you to think. They taught you to react. From childhood, every system, school, media, even family, condition you to respond emotionally to everything. Get a bad grade? Panic? Someone mocks you? Feel shame? You fail? Give up. But here's the brutal truth. Emotional reactivity is slavery. The one who reacts first loses. Napoleon Hill said, until you learn to control your emotions, you will never control your destiny. Think about it. How many opportunities have been lost because someone couldn't control their temper? How many dreams were abandoned because someone let fear whisper them into silence? How many reputations were destroyed because of a single emotional outburst? The system wants you emotional because emotional people are easy to control. They'll buy anything, believe anything, vote for anything. You've been taught that feeling something is the same as doing something. But Hill knew the truth. Emotions are tools, not masters. The man who masters his emotion becomes unpredictable. Unshakable. Powerful. And this starts by understanding. You are not your reaction. You are not your triggers. You are not what they called you. You are the observer, the commander, the one who chooses. From this point forward, make a vow. I will no longer be a puppet pulled by emotion. I will act with power, not react with weakness. Now stay with me, because we go deeper into the brain itself, into the science of how your emotions have been hijacked, and how to take your mind back. But before we continue, a quick mission. If this message is hitting you right where it needs to, drop a comment below with the words, I choose power. It tells the algorithm to show this to more people who need it. And more importantly, it tells your mind you're not who you used to be. You weren't born reactive. A baby doesn't fear rejection. A child doesn't flinch from judgment. But over time, you were taught to obey emotional triggers, like a dog responding to a whistle. This wasn't an accident. It was conditioning. They trained you to flinch when criticized, to freeze when challenged, to explode when disrespected. Why? Because a reactive person is predictable, and a predictable person is controllable. Napoleon Hill called this the greatest tragedy of modern education. We are not taught how to think. We are taught what to feel. And feelings, when ungoverned, become chains. Science backs this. The amygdala, your brain's emotional response center, is constantly scanning for threats. But here's the twist. It can't tell the difference between a lion chasing you and a comment on Instagram. So when someone mocks you, your brain floods with cortisol. Your body tenses. Your breathing shortens. You panic. Not because of danger, but because of perception. This is how they keep you small, by turning your own brain against you. But here's where the power begins. When you become aware, when you recognize that your mind has been hijacked, you can take it back. That's what Hill meant when he said, self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you do not control your thoughts, you cannot control your needs, desires, and impulses. So how do you take control? First, you observe. When you feel anger rise, you don't react. You pause. You watch it. That pause? Its power. It interrupts the loop. It starves the trigger. It rewires the brain. Second, you reframe. That insult? It's not about you. That failure? It's not final. That rejection? It's redirection. This is mental alchemy, turning pain into power. And the man who can do this becomes unstoppable. Let me ask you something. What if your greatest enemy isn't the person who wronged you, but the version of you that needs to react? Let that version die here. Let this be the moment you become untouchable. Now, take a breath. Say this out loud. I do not react. I respond with power. Say it again. Because repetition rewires reality. And in part 3, we go even deeper into the exact techniques Hill taught to build unshakable inner calm and how you can practice them daily to reshape your life. But first, if you're ready to take full control over your thoughts and your reactions, like this video so it spreads. Subscribe for more mindset transformations. Comment below, I control my mind. Asterisk, now do you understand the trap and how your brain has been wired to react? Let's get practical. Let's talk about what to do. Because Napoleon Hill didn't just speak in theories. He gave methods, daily rituals, step-by-step disciplines to take your power back. And the first is auto-suggestion. Most people repeat their weaknesses all day long. I can't do this. I'm too tired. I always mess up. I can't handle pressure. You don't need enemies when your own voice is sabotaging you. Hill said, any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. So here's the prescription. Start every morning with a definite affirmation. Not a weak hope. A powerful command. Stand in front of the mirror and say, nothing controls me. I respond with strength, not emotion. Say it like you mean it. Say it until it doesn't sound like a lie anymore. Say it until your subconscious believes it. The second ritual, environment control. Your environment shapes your emotions, music, media, voices, spaces. What you surround yourself with becomes your default mood. If your room is cluttered, your mind will be. If you're always around emotional people, you'll absorb their chaos. If your feed is full of fear and outrage, your thoughts will follow. Hill wrote, the mind becomes withered by the confusion of too many conflicting influences. So simplify your world. Turn off the noise. Eliminate the chaos. Design your space for peace. And here's one more. Master silence. Most people can't go 5 minutes without noise. Music, podcasts, texts, distractions. But silence? That's where clarity is born. If you want to lead, you must learn to sit. In stillness. Every day, take 5 minutes to sit quietly. No scrolling, no input. Just observe. What thoughts rise? What patterns repeat? Watch them without reacting. Because once you can watch a thought without obeying it, you are free. This is what Hill meant when he said, you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, because you have the power to control your thoughts. Let that sink in. You are not weak. You are not reactive by nature. You were trained to be. And now you're being retrained. Now you act like the person who is always in control, even when the world is losing its mind. Say it with me. I am composed. I am controlled. I am powerful. This is how you train the identity of strength. This is how you act as if nothing bothers you. But we're not done, because incoming video, I'll show you how to maintain this power. Even in chaos. Even when you're insulted, rejected, betrayed, or attacked. This is where your new self gets tested. And this is where most people break. But you won't, because you'll know what they never taught you. Stick with me. Asterisk, let's get real. It's easy to act composed When life is calm, when the bills are paid, when everyone is treating you well, when everything's going according to plan. But what about when it's not? What about when you're insulted, lied to, betrayed, dismissed? What about when your plans fall apart, when people laugh at your ambition, when nothing seems to be working? That's the true test, and most people fail. They lose their composure the moment life pokes their ego. They snap. They argue. They spiral. They throw away years of progress in 5 seconds of emotional collapse. But you are training to be different, because as Napoleon Hill said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. If you can remain emotionally centered in adversity, you do what most people never achieve. You become stronger with every attack. So how do you do that? Here are 3 strategies used by Hill's greatest students to remain untouchable in chaos. 1. Delay the reaction. This is the difference between amateurs and masters. When something triggers you, pause. Even for 5 seconds. Take a breath. Let the emotion rise. And don't touch it. You're not ignoring it. You're observing it. This single skill can save your reputation, your energy, your future. Think of how many people destroy their lives because they couldn't wait 10 seconds before reacting. Hill said, control your own mind, and you may never be controlled by the mind of another. In those 10 seconds, you take your power back. 2. Ask the power question, what would my higher self do? This is a weapon. Every time you're tempted to snap, ask yourself, what would the most powerful version of me do right now? Would he argue in a YouTube comment section? Would he beg someone for validation? Would he lose sleep over someone else's opinion? Or would he smile, adjust his crown, and keep building? That one question lifts you out of emotional weakness and places you back in identity alignment. You stop reacting as who you were and start acting as who you're becoming. 3. Transmute the emotion into power. This is where Napoleon Hill was a genius. He taught that every strong emotion, even anger, fear, rejection, contains energy. The problem: most people waste that energy on reaction. Hill's solution? Transmute it. Take the insult and let it fuel your discipline. Take the rejection and let it sharpen your focus. Take the delay and let it build your hunger. He called this sexual transmutation. In Think and Grow Rich, but the deeper principle applies to any emotion. Don't run from it. Use it. Every time you get triggered, say, good, more fuel. Because if you learn to convert every emotional storm into power, you become invincible. Now listen closely. This isn't about becoming cold, robotic, or emotionless. It's about becoming so grounded in your purpose that no emotion can derail you. You feel everything, but you choose your action. That's real strength. That's the power Hill wanted you to have. Say it with me. I use emotion. Emotion does not use me. One more time, louder. I use emotion. Emotion does not use me. Because when you master this, nothing and no one can control you. And now we're entering a new phase. The part where we talk about identity transformation. Because all change is temporary. Unless it touches your identity, you've started controlling your reactions. But now it's time to become the person who naturally radiates calm, clarity, and unshakable power. You're not just learning tricks. You're becoming a new person. Asterisk. Pause for a second. It's one thing to control your emotions, to act like nothing bothers you, to hold yourself together under pressure. But if that control feels fake, forced, fragile, it won't last. You'll slip. You'll snap. You'll sabotage. Why? Because your identity hasn't changed. You're still trying to act calm instead of being the calm. And Napoleon Hill knew this truth. You can't consistently act in a way that is inconsistent with your self-image. That means this: to truly become unstoppable, you don't just need New habits. You need a new identity. Let's talk about how to build it. Step 1. Right. Your new self-image in detail. Didn't skip this. Every great leader Hill interviewed, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, they all had a crystal clear picture of who they were becoming. They didn't wait for evidence. They declared it first. So ask yourself, who is the version of you that never gets rattled? What does he look like? How does he walk, speak, respond? How does he handle setbacks, criticism, pressure? Write it in full detail. Make it a declaration. Then every day read it aloud. Morning and night, not as a wish, as a fact, because repetition is how identity forms. Step 2. Eliminate. What doesn't match your new identity? Now comes the hard part. You've written your new identity, but your current environment might not support it. Look around. Who are the people constantly gossiping, complaining, reacting? What are the apps, shows, distractions pulling you into chaos? What habits feed the old reactive version of you? Every day you stay surrounded by emotional noise. You reinforce the identity you're trying to escape. So do what few dare to do. Cut ruthlessly. Cut the conversation. Cut the comparison. Cut the content that doesn't match your future self. This is what Napoleon Hill meant by a definite chief aim. He said, you become what you think about all day long. So think like the version of you who walks in power. Then guard that mindset like your life depends on it. Because it. Step 3. Build micro-proof every day. Here's a secret. Your identity doesn't shift in huge leaps. It shifts through small, repeated proof. Every time you stay calm under stress. Proof. Every time you choose silence over reaction. Proof. Every time you redirect fear into action. More proof. You are stacking evidence, and the more evidence you collect, the more natural your identity becomes. You won't have to pretend to be calm. You will be the calm. And once it's part of your identity, nobody can take it from you. Now, hear this. The world is full of people who know what to do, but never become the kind of person who does it automatically. That's why motivation fades. That's why goals fail. That's why transformation feels fake, because the mind always returns to the identity it believes. So give it a new one. Declare it. Feed it. Protect it. Live it. Say this with me now. I'm not trying to stay calm. I am calm. I am not pretending to be powerful. I am powerful. This is who I am now. This is how I move now. Because when identity matches intention, you don't need discipline. You become the discipline. In the next part, we enter what Napoleon Hill called the master key, the thing that locks in your new identity, frees you from emotional slavery, and triggers the flow of abundance in every part of your life. It's called auto-suggestion. And if you master it, you'll never need to be hyped up again. You'll walk in belief automatically. Ready? Asterisk. Let's now enter one of the most misunderstood but most powerful principles Napoleon Hill ever shared. Auto-suggestion. It's single quotes. It's not just a motivational chant. It's not wishful thinking. It is the very tool by which you reprogram your subconscious. And if you want to become the person who walks through fire without flinching, this is the mechanism that makes it happen. Hill said, auto-suggestion is the agency through which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. Why does that matter? Because your subconscious is what controls your identity, your behavior, your default emotional responses, and even what you believe is possible for you. And until that changes, nothing outside can. Here's how it works. Whatever you say to yourself, with emotion, repetition, and certainty, becomes accepted by your subconscious as truth. And once it accepts it, it begins to act on it automatically, consistently, without resistance. That's how a person goes from trying to be confident to being confident without effort. That's how a person goes from pretending they're calm to radiating unshakable peace. You don't fight for it anymore. You simply become it. But here's the catch. It only works if you do it daily. And with belief. How to use auto-suggestion like Hill did. Let's build your method right now. Write a clear identity. Statement it should be present tense personal packed with emotional power. Example: I am calm, powerful, and untouchable. I move with purpose. I do not react. I command my world through peace and certainty. Speak it out loud morning and night, not like a chore. Like a ritual. Say it like your future depends on it, because it does. Say it with your chest, with your breath, with power, even if it feels fake at first. That's okay. Your subconscious doesn't care about your current reality. It listens to what you repeat with emotion. Feel it as you say it. Emotion is the fuel. If you say your statement flatly, it will die in your throat. You must feel the identity you are becoming. Visualize it. Taste it. Walk in it, in your imagination, because your mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined reality and a real one. And over time, the imagined becomes actual. The internal becomes external. What happens when you stick to it? After days, you'll feel a shift. After weeks, you'll start to act different without trying. After months, people won't even recognize you. You'll no longer be performing detachment. You'll embody it. Where others react, you'll remain grounded. Where others fear, you'll move in faith. Where others break, you'll lead. Because you've rewritten the software that runs your system. And that, Napoleon Hill said, is the ultimate power. There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Think about that. The man who acts as if nothing bothers him isn't lucky. He's programmed, intentional, built from the inside out. And if you take this seriously, if you make auto-suggestion a daily weapon, you will not recognize yourself in 6 months. That's not hype. That's process. Let's do it now. Say this out loud. I am calm under pressure. I am unmoved by chaos. I choose how I respond. I am powerful, focused, and in control. Again, I do not react. I respond. I do not fear. I lead. I am becoming the most powerful version of myself. Feel it. Speak it. Be it. And when the world throws its noise, its drama, its panic, you won't move. Because the most powerful man in the room is the one who doesn't flinch. In the next part, we dive into the power of detachment and strategic silence. It's not just about staying calm. It's about using your calm as a weapon, to negotiate better, to influence deeper, to win without force. Let's move forward. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes a superpower. Napoleon Hill once said, "Tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it." Most people do the opposite. They speak before they move. They rant before they think. They react before they plan. But the wise man, the man who acts as if nothing bothers him, uses silence as a weapon. Let me show you how. 1. Silence confuses the manipulator. When someone tries to provoke you, what are they really doing? They're fishing for your reaction. They want to see you flinch. They want to know they can control your emotional state. But when you respond with silence, with stillness, with unreadable calm, you take the power out of their hands. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're planning. They don't know if you're angry, calm, or 10 steps ahead. And that confusion? That's PowerPoint 2. Silence builds authority. Watch the greatest leaders, the ones who walk into a room and shift the atmosphere. They're never the loudest. They speak sparingly. But when they do, every word lands like a hammer. Why? Because silence builds anticipation. When you don't respond instantly, your words gain weight. People start to listen more, not less. You command the room not with volume, but with presence. It's the principle of less is more, but with your voice, your emotions, your movements. 3. Silence gives you leverage in negotiation. Silence is a tactic. The one who fills the silence loses. Because silence makes people uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, they reveal too much. They give in. They drop their price. They expose their fear. But you stay still. You let the silence work for you. Because when you act as if nothing bothers you, even in high-stress conversations, you communicate one message. I'm in control. I don't need to rush. I'm not afraid to wait. And that message changes everything. 4. Silence reclaims emotional energy. Every unnecessary reaction drains you. Every triggered reply costs you time, peace, and power. But when you choose silence, you preserve energy. You think clearer. You see the game being played. And you no longer operate like a puppet on strings. You become the observer and the architect of every move. This is what Napoleon Hill meant by mastering self. Because emotional mastery isn't about being numb. It's about being selective. You speak when it matters. You respond when it's strategic. You stay silent when it gives you power. Practice this today. The next time someone tries to provoke, you pause. The next time you feel the urge to defend yourself, stay still. The next time your ego wants to prove something, choose silence. Let the silence speak for you. Let your detachment say everything. Because here's the truth. He who controls his reaction controls the outcome. And the man who doesn't flinch, he becomes the man everyone watches and no one can predict. Say this now. I do not respond to chaos. I do not feed drama. I do not need to prove anything. I let silence speak for my power. Say it again. Let it sink deep into your identity, because the day you stop broadcasting your emotions to the world is the day the world stops controlling you. Asterisk. Let me be blunt. You're not just fighting your emotions. You're fighting the environment that train those emotions. You can learn all the mental techniques in the world, but if your environment pulls you back into the same emotional cycles, you'll stay stuck. Napoleon Hill said, your environment shapes your thinking, and your thinking shapes your fate. So if you want to learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you must design a world that protects your peace. Let's break it down. 1. Audit your circle. Ruthlessly look at the people around you. Who triggers your reactivity? Who gossips, complains, or plays the victim every day? Who makes emotional chaos your default atmosphere? If they drain your peace, they're draining your future. You cannot stay calm if you surround yourself with chaos. You need people who are calm under fire. People who move with intention, not emotion. People who don't panic when things go wrong. They plan. Remember, you are the average of the emotions you absorb. Choose wisely. 2. Cleanse. Your digital diet. Your environment isn't just physical, it's digital. Every scroll trains your brain. Every video you watch either builds your strength or chips away at it. Every notification is an invitation to react. So ask yourself, do you follow people who panic or people who plan? Are your feeds full of outrage or opportunity? Do you get dopamine from drama or discipline? Because if your phone is feeding you chaos, you'll never master stillness. Control your feed, or it will control you. Unfollow, mute, delete. Create a digital world that supports the calm, commanding version of you. 3. Design physical spaces for power. Your space reflects your state. If your room is cluttered, your mind will be too. If your desk is full of distractions, your focus will suffer. If your environment feels chaotic, so will you. Start building power pockets. In your environment, a desk for discipline, a corner for deep thinking, a space for silence and recalibration. Every object should have a purpose. Every space should signal strength, because when your environment becomes intentional, so do you. 4. Create rituals that anchor you, then just rely on willpower. Build systems. Start your day with silence before you check your phone. Write your intentions, not just your to-do list. End your day with reflection, not reaction. Hill called this auto-suggestion. Speaking your power aloud. Programming your mind. On purpose, with purpose. It's not just motivational fluff. It's mental architecture. The man who acts as if nothing bothers him didn't get lucky. He built a life where chaos has no oxygen. Daily. Environmental discipline. Surround yourself with calm thinkers. Cut digital triggers at the source. Curate. A physical space that reflects who you're becoming. Anchor your day in rituals, not reaction. This is how you stop being emotionally hijacked and start being emotionally sovereign. Because when you master your environment, you become immune to the emotional poison most people drown in. Say this aloud. I am the architect of my environment. I build peace. I absorb strength. I reject chaos. I create spaces that serve my highest power. Say it again. Let it echo through your room and your routine. Because your environment is not just where you live. It's who you become. Asterisk now that you've learned how to protect your mind from the outside world. Let's talk about the inside world. Your emotions, your pain, your history. Because here's the truth. You will feel anger. You will feel doubt. You will feel fear, sadness, frustration, and even rage. That's not weakness. That's fuel. Weak man runs from these emotions. The strong man transmutes them. Napoleon Hill understood this. He called it emotional transmutation. He said, sex desire, fear, anger, sorrow, these are potent forces. But the man who learns to direct them can bend reality. Let's break this down. 1. Anger is energy. Direct it. Anger is not your enemy. When you're angry, your body gives you adrenaline, focus, heat, and drive. Most waste in outbursts or grudges. But the powerful, they channel it. When someone insults you, build more. When someone underestimates, you focus harder. When you're betrayed, use that energy to upgrade yourself. Your success will sting them louder than any words could. Say it aloud. My anger fuels my greatness, not my destruction. 2. Fear is a compass. Follow it. Fear shows you where your growth is hiding. Are you afraid to speak up? Afraid to fail? Afraid to lead that job? Afraid to try? Then that's where your freedom lives. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a glowing arrow pointing to your next level. Napoleon Hill said, do the thing you fear and the death of fear is certain. So next time you feel it, don't freeze. Don't hide. Walk straight toward it. Because behind that fear is power. Your power. 3. Sadness is a signal. Listen. Then move. Sadness often visits when something is out of alignment. Maybe you've outgrown your environment. Maybe your habits don't match your vision. Maybe your spirit is tired of settling. Don't numb it. Don't run. Sit with it. Briefly. Learn from it. Then move. Let sadness be your teacher, but never your master. You are not here to dwell. You are here to transform. 4. Doubt is an invitation. Rise above it. Every champion has doubted himself. Every master heard the voice. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Why even try? But they didn't obey it. They responded with action. You kill doubt with movement. You slay insecurity with discipline. You replace fear with focus. Don't argue with the voice. Drown it in action. Say this aloud. I am stronger than my feelings. I use emotion. I do not obey it. I act with power, no matter what I feel. This is emotional alchemy. Most people are prisoners of emotion. They let one bad hour ruin a day. One rejection ruin a year. One betrayal ruin their entire future. But you turn breakdowns into breakthroughs. You turn fire into focus. You don't fight emotion. You forge it into strength. This is mastery. Here's your practice. When emotion rises, pause. Name it. Not I'm angry, but anger is present. Redirect it. Into action, into movement, into building. Affirm power. This is energy. I choose where it goes. Do this daily. And soon, you'll notice something strange. The same situations that used to shake you, they now sharpen you. You'll look back and say, I didn't become calm by avoiding storms. I became calm by learning to command them. Congratulations. If you've made it to this point, you're not just watching. You're transforming. You've walked through fire of emotion, pressure, weakness, and instead of breaking, you've been forged. But now comes the final piece, identity. Because everything you've learned, the discipline, the detachment, the composure, means nothing unless you become the person who lives it. Napoleon Hill didn't just teach actions. He taught alignment. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But here's the hidden part of that quote. You must become the man who believes. Not sometimes, not when it's easy, always. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your identity. And now, your new identity is this. I am a man who remains composed under pressure. I do not chase, I attract. I do not react, I command. I do not beg, I decide. This is who you are now. The world can't touch a man who doesn't flinch. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. When the insult comes, you don't defend. You smile. When the storm hits, you don't panic. You prepare. When the opportunity delays, you don't doubt. You double down. When emotions rise, you observe them like a master, not a slave. People will try to shake you. Pressure will try to bend you. Life will try to test you. But they won't win. Because the man who is not shaken cannot be broken. That's the man you are now. Build your life around this identity. Everything flows from here. Your business starts to grow because you're no longer emotional in your decisions. Your relationships improve because you respond with strength, not fear. Your health thrives because your body finally stops being attacked by your own stress. Your finances shift because your new energy attracts success like a magnet. You no longer need to prove. You simply be. This is what Hill meant when he said, success requires no explanations. Failure permits no alibis. You don't need to argue with doubters. You don't need to convince the world. Your life will speak for itself. Your silence will intimidate louder than their noise. Your focus will embarrass their chaos. Your success will echo through generations. The final practice, the power ritual every day. Just like brushing your teeth, perform your power ritual. Do not skip this. Because rituals write identity. Habits build the man. Stand in the mirror. Look into your own eyes. Repeat your declaration. I am calm. I am powerful. I am unmoved. I act with purpose. I rise with certainty. I attract success because I become success. Act with alignment. Make one move today, no matter how small, that reflects the man you're becoming. Refuse to engage with nonsense. Silence the distractions. Disconnect from the noise. Let your actions speak. Track your detachment. Did something trigger you today? Did you react or respond? Adjust, sharpen, refocus. Every day, you hardwire power into your nervous system. Until one day, without even thinking, you've become the man who used to feel impossible. And now, the call to action. If this video has moved you, share it with one person who needs it. Not for the algorithm. For them. Because you were once where they are. And if you haven't already, comment these words below. Nothing shakes me anymore. Let your subconscious hear it. Let the world see it. Let your soul believe it. Because now you know you don't chase calm, you create it. You don't beg for peace, you command it. You don't ask for power, you become it. And when you do, nothing bothers you. Nothing shakes you. And nothing can stop you. Not anymore. Let this be your new life. Let this be your legacy. This is who you are now. Unshakable, unstoppable, untouchable. And let me know if you'd like. Subtitle file without timestamps, SEO description plus tags plus thumbnail text. A compressed version for your faceless narration. Or if you want to start another script, I'm ready. Ask ChatGPT, said Colon Proceed. ChatGPT said, great. Now that your 10,000 word motivational script based on learn to act as if nothing bothers you, Napoleon Hill is complete. Here are the final pieces to help you launch your faceless YouTube video effectively. SEO-based. YouTube description. In a world that thrives on emotional chaos, Napoleon Hill's wisdom cuts through the noise like a blade. This powerful spoken word video reveals the mindset shift you must make to become truly unshakable. You'll learn how to act as if nothing bothers you, not because you're numb, but because you've become unstoppable. Discover the habits, affirmations, and daily rituals that turn ordinary people into extraordinary forces of calm, wealth, and influence. Watch until the very end to transform your identity, attract massive success, and finally live like the man you were born to be. Subscribe for more spoken word motivation and timeless truths from Napoleon Hill, Carl Jung, Stoicism, and beyond. Comment "Nothing shakes me anymore" if you're ready to leave weakness behind forever. Hashtag Napoleon Hill, hashtag Faceless motivation, hashtag unshakable mindset, hashtag success motivation, hashtag spoken word wisdom, hashtag powerful mindset, hashtag think and grow rich, mental discipline, hashtag emotional control, hashtag wealth mindset, hashtag fearless living, tags SEO optimize, Mathematica Capione Hill, think and grow rich, spoken word motivation, faceless YouTube motivation, mindset shift, emotional control, daily discipline, self-mastery, wealth mindset, power of detachment, Napoleon Hill motivation, mental toughness, calm under pressure, stoic wisdom, confidence, inner power, how to stay calm, motivational speech, success habits, become unstoppable. Motivational video 2025. Thumbnail text main title. Bold. Centered. Act like nothing bothers you subline. Smaller italic. Napoleon Hill's secret to unshakable power design guidance. For your designer or Canva use. Left side. Sepia tone portrait of Napoleon Hill clean. Dignified look. Right side. Solid black background with white plus yellow contrast text. Add a light glow or faint shadow around the text to make it pop font. Strong serif or modern bold sans serif. For example, Bieber's Nui Montserrat Extra Bold. Padding. At least 100 to 150 px from edges, especially top and left. Subtle effect. Faint lightning or energy sparks behind Hill to convey inner power. Would you like me to generate this final thumbnail image for you? Or are you ready to begin a new 10,000 word video with a fresh title?